Irving Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Gerald Stavely Dry Cleaning.
From Irving Public School Stadium, it's the ICTN Game of the Week. We kick off the 2014 high school football season tonight with the Irving Nimitz Vikings hosting Keller Timber Creek Falcons. And hi, everybody. I'm Rob Willman. John Nelson will join me momentarily here in the booth. You know, it's been said many times that mistakes can be cleared up by summer. It's also said that the congested path to postseason has now been opened up somewhat by the guys at the UIL. Yes, the guys down in Austin have made the path a little easy. They have shifted Nimitz and the entire Irving School District to the east, if you will, into a more playoff-friendly new district. Let's take a look at the district as we look at kind of size things up, if you will. Gone are the big boys from Trinity and that spread offense from Colleyville. No more LD Bell or Grapevine either. Irving teams will head, like I said, east to a handful of Dallas schools, Skyline, Sunset, W.T. White, and the private school Jesuit. R.L. Turner, the lone holdover from last year. And you know what? To be honest, I'm sure the coaches are happy to see that. Well, Timber Creek comes into tonight, and they're a new school. And believe it or not, they're the fourth school from the city of Keller. That's right, 4 schools from that city. Falcons have only been around, though, for 5 years, and head coach Kevin Golden told me it's taken about 5 years to raise that football IQ, if you will, among his team. Very young team, but they do have some good players, and we'll start off offensively with their running back, and that's Reese Saunders. Coach Golden told me he hopes to give his running backs half the calls tonight, and the junior should get most of those touches. He's one of 4 offensive players who got their feet wet as sophomores, so Golden is hoping for good things running the football tonight. Now, the bulk of the Falcons' experience, though, comes from the defensive side of the ball, and Camden Ross is at the head of the class. He already has an offer from the University of Houston. The safety is one of 8 defensive starters returning to a team that hasn't won more than 3 games in a season. For second-year head coach Brian Rogers for the Vikings, he has a veteran under center. Jimmy Clark has taken snaps for the Vikings since his sophomore season. He threw for nearly 1,500 yards and 8 touchdowns last year, so he's hoping to build on that. And he also might have a favorite receiver, too. Coach Rogers says junior Sam Berry has turned a few heads during practice. On the defensive side, well, the Scott twins have already received an offer from SMU to play ball. Michael and his brother Delonte play those outside linebacker spots that pressure the quarterback and make it difficult to see over their tall frames. Also keep an eye on linebacker Noah Spears and safety Michael Perez to make plays for the Vikings. Well, as Plato once said, beginning is the hardest part of work. Let's go to work. It's the Vikings and Falcons next on ICTN.
Well, dress rehearsal's over, and the curtain goes up on the 2014 season. John Nelson along with Rob Willman as the Nimitz Vikings in return posture waiting the kick of Benji Martinez, and the 2014 season is underway. This one sailing 1 yard deep. Coming out with it is Mark Eugene. Eugene to the 15, gets a block 20, and is thrown to the turf at the 26-yard line. So the Nimitz Vikings receiving the opening kickoff here at Irving Public School Stadium. And we see District 9 6A against District 5 6A. As Rob told you, a few changes over the summer, but pretty good starting position for the Vikings at the 26. Quarterback is Jimmy Clark, a senior. As you see the Viking band, Jimmy Clark last year over 1,500 yards. 8 touchdowns. Into the center of the line and angling out to the 30 and a pickup of 4 yards is number 20, Jordan Henry. Henry, a junior. And gain of 4. Just underway, the lid lifter here at 2014. Clark sending Sam Berry wide right from the gun. Clark looking left, will keep it, run, and throws on the run and overshoots the receiver out of the left flap, number 3, Gerard Velasquez.
He had him open. It was a little moment of indecision there as the pocket broke down and Clark rolling to his left. Of course, he throws with his right, a difficult pass to make, but he had his receiver there and they could have had a first down.
And there is Velasquez, as you see up top, as the Vikings face 3rd and 6. First meeting ever between these two schools. The Vikings trying to win their 7th consecutive season opener. And that's Henry alongside Clark. The move man is James Rodriguez. As Clark winds up, looking, will keep it, and Clark slammed at the 29. They have lost about a half a yard as the Vikings will have to give it up on their first possession.
Well, it's just a case of the pocket breaking down, and give the credit to the Falcons out there for good play in the secondary, keeping all the receivers covered. He just had nowhere to go.
So Nimitz will give it up. And number 11, James Rodriguez, is the team's punter. Single setback for Timber Creek. As they change things up, Paris Colvin comes out. And then all the way back to the 29. As this one not a good effort at all as it goes out of bounds. Will mark off the angle and probably put it around the 40-yard line. Jarvis Walker is tonight's referee in the first possession of the year for Keller Timber Creek. And here is the offensive alignment for the Falcons, anchored by center Sebastian Escalante, perhaps the team's best overall player. Wide receiver, running backs, and Anthony Millsap in the cockpit, the senior. 23 seniors, 31 juniors, and 5 sophomores for the Falcons. A scrimmage at their own 43-yard line. To the right, and thrown down behind the line of scrimmage. A handoff went to Reese Saunders, and Saunders drew a crowd, among them Michael Scott, number 1. And another look at it, Rob.
Boy, they were not fooling anybody, were they? As Saunders goes to his right, and the pursuit, everybody else in the senior, sophomore, and junior class in on that tackle.
Michael,
well done.
Yeah, and Delonte, and also Michael Perez, number 28. It's a loss of 4, 2nd and 14.
Looks like they have Pittman in at quarterback.
I was going to say, that's Connor Pittman, number 18, was throwing at about 6 o'clock. Taking some long tosses, trying to hook up with Deshaun Diggs, number 80. Couldn't haul it in. It'll be 3rd and 14. So we do not see Anthony Millsap to start. And the defensive line for the Nimitz Vikings. Yarborough, Mitchell, and Kennedy up front. A quartet of linebackers. The Scots, Lochner and Spears, and the Vikings secondary. The juniors, couple of seniors in the secondary. 3rd and 14. Connor Pittman back up the middle and is leveled at the 35. Nice defensive stand for the Nimitz Vikings. Number 51 getting in on the action. That's Stephen Yarbrough.
Well, they run the 3-4, so Rogers will throw in a linebacker, of course, almost every passing down. The question is, what side will the rush come through? You can almost count on Michael coming out there, but sometimes they'll rush it right up the middle, and that was the case there as Yarbrough came right up the gut and got the sack.
Benji Martinez in punt formation for the Keller Timber Creek Falcons. Turns sideways, just pooches it out, hits at the 40, rolls about 8 more yards, and it will be down at the Nimitz 30-yard line. Both teams punting on their first possession.
I don't know if it's.
So here's the Viking offense for the second time. Nimitz this year, 29 seniors, 12 juniors, and 7 sophomores.
These teams pretty much mirror each other as far as youth is concerned. The last couple of years coming into this season, Coach Golden told me he was happy just to recognize everybody in spring training this year.
Well, they beat North Garden last year 36-6 to open the 2013 season in Garland. And home to begin 2014, Clark out on the right flat hooks up with Gerard Velasquez. Velasquez crosses a 35 and is piled up at the 38. Nice pickup of 8 yards.
They ran that play a lot last year. Well, it's almost like a wide receiver screen, if you will. He's got like 2 other receivers out there in the neighborhood. They make contacts with the DBs, and then Velasquez just tries to pick the hole.
Mark Eugene, the setback behind Jimmy Clark. On 2nd and short, he'll throw and a little bit too tall. Not behind the line of scrimmage, but almost to that point where Velasquez may have had second thoughts and gone for the football. And here is the Nimitz offense, anchored by Will Joya, number 70, 2 guards and the 2 tackles. Scott and the rest of the Viking offense, Sandberry and James Rodriguez, the wideouts. Senior Jimmy Clark, 8 touchdown tosses last year. 3rd and 2. Nimitz moving from left to right. The fake and then the give, and having to do some adjustment is number 21, Mark Eugene. Eugene had nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Chase Dennis, the junior defensive lineman, watch him to the right of your screen, just come out of nowhere, and maybe a missed assignment. What would you say?
Well, I would think that Dennis had an easy picking on the 21, Mark Eugene. So Nimitz will have to give it up on the second possession. Rodriguez, end over end, hits at the 40. Goes sideways and down by number 7, Cody Norris, at the Timber Creek 37. So they'll start about 5 yards further back than their first possession. 7:38 in the opening period, no score. Keller Timber Creek last year went 2-8, 1-6 in the district. They returned 24 Letterman.
Coach Golden said he likes to go 50-50 as far as running and passing the ball. Now Millsap back in as quarterback.
Anthony Millsap, a senior, into the center of the line and maybe a yard loss. You know, Nimitz, their strength this year, Rob, may be on defense. Head coach Brian Rogers saying that he would like to dictate a lot of things what the other offenses might try to do this year. The strength may be the Viking defense. It is a loss of a yard, 2nd and 11.
2 rushes, -5 for Saunders.
And they do like to run behind Sebastian Escalante, number 72, perhaps the team's most active and best overall player. 2nd and long for Millsap. Twin receivers to the near side. The Vikings blitz. The pressure on Millsap, throws behind the receiver, and the nearest man to the football was Noah Spears, number 9.
He had a beat on it, another step or two, and he'd take it to the house. Watch the replay again. Again, here comes the blitz, straight up the middle. Not a lot of time for Millsap. Linebacker couldn't get over in time to make the play, but Nimitz doing their job on the first 2 plays. As you take a look at Coach Rogers, and when we told him about the streak, I said, Coach, you got a great winning streak. The team does. He goes, I do? He goes, this is only my 2nd year here. Tell me about this streak, this so-called streak.
And it is 7 in a row. That last pass intended for Reese Saunders, number 25. It'll be 3rd and 11. Motion in the line, no flags. Middle screen, caught, 40, 45. As Saunders inside the 30 and chased down by DeMonte Brewer, number 14.
About a 35-yard pickup on the play, and that was just a perfect call. 35 yards, first down. We'll watch the replay. They had everybody coming up the middle, And that's where things get a little hairy with Velasquez coming straight up, and then Saunders has the outside and finally get knocked out of bounds. And look at Michael Scott, number 1, who had to come all the way over from the weak side to make the play.
2 tight ends on 1st and 10 at the Nimitz 24-yard line. Hand off, and 2, now 3 all around the running back. It's number 20, Braxton Washington.
He's the backup. When Saunders needs a spell, they'll bring him in to run the football. Of course, Saunders had that big run prior to that.
It's a loss of a yard, 2nd and 11.
Right now, the Vikings doing a good job stopping the run.
2 receivers to the near side on 2nd and long. Millsap loading up, evades 1, escapes another, and then is thrown down, loses a ball, but maybe ruled down at about the 32-yard line.
Down indeed, the official there on the side judge coming through. You know, you and I, we talked about Glockner before the game, and David has really shown a lot of play here early on. He blitzed right up the middle that time, missed the quarterback, but made him rush the play. But that's the kind of pressure you want to see from your linebacker when you send him right up the middle.
David Glockner, 120 tackles last year, number 34 for the Vikes. That's a loss of 7. It's 3rd and 18. Falcons scrimmage for the Viking 33. Long count, Millsap throws it up. This has interception or a catch written all over it, and out jumping the defender at the 14-yard line and coming down with it is Eric Mills. That was one-on-one, and Mills won the battle.
Man, just throw it up and hope somebody catches it, and Mills was the guy to catch it. Look at that. He got the jump on it, and I'm afraid that Velasquez just got turned around a little bit and kind of lost sight of the football.
Well, that was just a flare straight up and hoping that Mills would get to it, and he did. 1st and 10 from the 14. Running play over right guard. Saunders, Reese Saunders piled up at the 12. Underneath number 54.
Well, Saunders now has his rushing total almost at 0 with some plus yardage there. He has not had much success running the football, but he's done well on that one screen pass.
Gain of 4. The offensive line for the Falcons averages about 245. From the 10, Millsap upended at the 5. Number 28, Michael Perez on the takedown.
First time we see him run that little spread option. Vikings trying to substitute. Michael Scott getting back out there defensively, and they're going to snap it quickly.
3rd and a yard to the 2, to the 1. Saunders, and his 1st and goal, Keller Timber Creek. Saunders collects the 1st down. And now the onus on the Viking front 4 to try to keep the Falcons out of the end zone.
10 plays on this drive. They've eaten up about 4 minutes so far.
There's a setback. Reese Saunders, nice view from our end zone camera, about 90 yards away. 2 tight ends, power eye, handoff, and Saunders is close. Almost right on top of the double stripe. Just outside, well, not more than a foot away. It's 2nd and goal.
Thought he had it. Watch the Vikings defensively right at the last minute, right about there. Scott, number 1, Michael Scott grabbed him, said, no, not yet.
And then sneaking over left guard is Anthony Millsap, the quarterback. He has the first touchdown of 2014. Millsap on a 1-yard run. Timber Creek on the board. It is 6-0.
11-play drive, 4 minutes and about 14 seconds off the clock.
Over 60 yards, wasn't it? Number 2, Benji Martinez, the punter and the kicker, out of the hold of Anthony Millsap, the quarterback. And this to make it a 7-0 game. It's on the tee and it is on the board.
First flag of the game.
Procedure, movement, against the Falcons. That'll scoot them back and make this a 25-yard extra point attempt.
The NFL experimenting with those long extra points in preseason. There were actually like 4 misses, I think, in the preseason games.
In the first 2 games.
Yeah.
It was over the first 2 games. So this is a 25-yard extra point attempt for Benji Martinez following the illegal procedure. Spotted, up, and good. Right at sunset here. The last week of August, over 600 public and private schools getting the season started across the Lone Star State this weekend.
There's Millsap, a little help from his friends, just pushing him in from behind. Watch it from the end zone. Millsap just finds a little gap between center and guard. He gets those guys in the backfield to give him a nice little push.
They inserted Trevor Goree, the offensive right guard. They didn't need him, but Goree, number 55, was in the backfield on that quarterback sneak.
Ironically, talking to Coach Golden this week, to him the 3 keys were conditioning. He says he's always worried the first game of the season. Turnovers, last year they were about -1.5 to 2 a game. And then he said execution on defense. Those were his 3 big keys, and lo and behold, it was his offense. At least early on here in the first half that comes up with the first score of the ball game.
As far as conditioning, Rob, of course, you want to stay hydrated. It is rather muggy. There was rain in the area, and what wind there was has subsided. The temperature probably now in the upper 80s. 7-0. Keller Timber Creek on top. Nimitz received the opening kickoff. They punted their first 2 possessions. And the same 2 men back deep. Jordan Henry to the left, Mark Eugene to the right. And here's Martinez's kick. It's a line drive and caught on the fly by Henry. 15, crosses the 20, and Henry to the 24.
Well, the Vikings, their 3rd possession now offensively in the first quarter. It started on their own 26, their own 30, and their own 24.
Nimitz this year returned 31 Lettermans, 7 on offense, 7 on defense. They were 4-6 overall a season ago, just missed out of the playoffs, finishing 3-4 in the district. The 45th year of football at Irving Nimitz High. And Jimmy Clark trying to get this offense going here, trailing 7-0. Mark Eugene providing the blocking as Clark on the run. Now cuts it back against the green. Clark crosses the 30. First down, 35, 40, 45, and tightropes it out of bounds at around midfield. Clark had started right, cut it back against the flow, and some nice running room.
This is what he does best. Give him some room, give him some real estate, let him freelance a little bit, and good job of blocking by his receivers. They finally get their first down of the ball game.
Inside receiver Cody Norris here on 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. Clark swings it out. It's behind the receiver, but Norris with a nice adjustment comes down with it and crosses midfield. Pickup of about 4. Cody Norris, one of those 7 sophomores. Second down, needing a long 6 or a short 7. Sam Berry wide right. Running back is Mark Eugene. Clark looking, now running, trying to escape, just throws it up, and this one well out of bounds, and a flag drop in the secondary.
Well, we might have contact by the DB, Paris Colvin, the junior. who was out there in coverage. But he might have held the wide receiver Barry up. You kind of see a tendency already to what the Vikings want to do. I mean, they can move the ball.
Holding on the defense.
Defensive
10 yards from the previous spot, first down.
All right, so their second first down, this one because of a penalty. If it's defensive holding, it's only a 5-yard variety. Watch 19.
It's a pretty good hold. There's Colvin.
Well, Coach Rogers told me that, you know, he really wanted to see what Barry could do once the game started. He's a good size receiver, and I wonder just how long that the Falcons will play tight.
They spot it at the 39. Norris makes the catch in traffic. Running room 20. Inside the 15, and Norris ushered out of bounds at the 10. It'll be first and goal.
About a 29-yard pickup. Just that wide receiver screen.
Just outruns everybody. Finally chased down by number 53, Jonathan Casillas.
And just like that, the Vikings are hitting their stride offensively. It's the quick hitters.
Going for the equalizer. Eugene over right tackle and has yardage to the 8. Running behind Franklin Rosales, number 55.
Like we said, like I was saying earlier, you know, with the wide receiver screens like that, how much longer will the Falcons give them a lot of room at the line? You know, will they play tight? And if they do play tight, will that be the opportunity for Nimitz to try to play long ball?
I'm going to give him a yard more, just outside the 6. And Clark spun down inside the 5. Clark on the keeper. It'll be third and goal at the 4-yard line.
New rule this year they've picked up with the college ranks, and that is as soon as the play is over, they start the play clock at 40 seconds. That's something new this year in high school ball.
See how that affects some of these spread offenses for the first 4 weeks. Clark on third and goal, throws, caught, touchdown.
Nice.
Goes to 6'5", Michael Scott.
Nice. That is using the size to your advantage right there. Scott, a la kind of a Des Bryant type thing, to where he uses his body to shield the defender. Just run an in route. The DB can't cover someone that tall and that big, and put it on the board.
It is 7-6, and Javier Mata will try to tie it up out of the hold of Sam Berry. Up and blocked. It is stuffed. And Nimitz and Scott come away with it, and he throws it downfield, and all that resulting in a block extra point. Waited maybe a little bit too long, and Keller there to reject it. So the extra point is blocked, and it's a 1-point contest with 1 minute to go in the opening quarter.
Brian Rogers, he told me this week, Rob, here are my 3 keys. Number 1 was turnovers. But let's look at the touchdown again. Watch Scott. He just shields himself from the defensive back. Andrew Park had no chance at covering him. Watch it again from the end zone. Just a quick one-step, boom, bam. There's your touchdown. 7-6 at that point in time. Rogers told me, though, he said, you know, first and foremost of my 3 keys to the game is special teams. And so, boom, right off the bat, we see where a blocked extra point, who knows, it may come back to bite them. He also said protect the football and stop the run for them. I think they're doing a good job so far of stopping the run of the Falcons. But the player out there on the extra point, who knows, they'll probably make some adjustments if they get another opportunity.
Well, in a first game, special teams really do have a determining factor about half the time as to who wins. It is so important. Practices for weeks and weeks before school. And the block extra point, Nimitz now trails by a point.
That was a 7-play drive, ate up 2 minutes and 16 seconds on the clock. They started at their own 24.
So Mata will kick off. There was Colvin back deep, joined by Reese Saunders. Nimitz kicks off for the first time.
Mata with those nice bright shoes.
Easy to pick him out of the crowd. Only takes about 3 steps.
See if it's a chip shot here to about the 35.
Yeah, it's a pop fly. And here's
That's
the crowd.
3.
It is caught, and Velasquez as Nimitz in the bag of tricks, and it works. It went 10 yards, and Gerard Velasquez.
Man, the Falcons were just sitting there. It's like they were hoping for like a fair catch. No one wanted to take it. He just runs right underneath it.
Just a fly ball hauled in by Michael Trout. I mean, it's a center fielder on the easy catch.
No one for the Falcons went at. They could have called a fair catch.
Sure,
on
they
that.
could have. Yeah.
They could have just waved the arm up and took it. But I think they were all looking at each other like, are you going to get it or not? And
Is this legal? Does it count?
yeah, well, it does, and it is.
And the Vikes set up shop at the Falcon 48. Trailing 7-6. Just inside of a minute. And now a full timeout has been taken by Keller Timber Creek. They're a little bit out of sync here as they utilize their first timeout.
Yeah, Coach probably wants to get them back on key and get their heads right. I like their logo. I like the TC on the side of the helmets. Kind of a combination Texas Ranger T and a Chicago Cub or Bear C. I don't know. You don't see that often.
Yeah, it does have kind of a flying T, then a block finish there. And Nimitz with new helmets this year.
Yeah, nice new helmets. They've got the gray with the, you see them right there, nice gray with the dark purple N on the side. Their pants are also gray, and the numbers are nice and big for us old guys to pick them out from miles away, it seems like. The officials are going back. I think maybe they're going to discuss that last play on the special teams. Maybe Coach Golden used that timeout maybe to try to get the referees to just double check and make sure that was a good play. I don't think anybody touched it before 10 yards.
No, nobody laid a hand on it.
No one called for the fair catch. Maybe they're asking, can they advance it once they catch it? That's the only thing I can tell. But let's watch it again.
Velasquez will come from the right. Everybody, like his quarantine, they're staying away from it.
Yeah, it's 10 yards. It's 12, 13 yards. I was trying to see if Tyler Shaw put his arm or hand in the air, but that is Coach Golden to your far right. His hand, see, he's motioning with his hand in the air to say, my guy signaled for the fair catch. Golden, in his 5th year, he was the defensive coordinator at Keller at Fossil Ridge, also coached at Grand Prairie and Carrollton Creekview.
So much different, Rob, than the traditional onsides kick where it ricochets off of someone. And
let's look
it's
again.
just so different to see.
See if you see anybody with their hand up. Down. I see the guys at the 46 down.
Good idea, but never raise the hand.
No. I don't. Of course, no replay in high school, but they asked us. We'd show them.
So obviously it can't be advanced. It stays on the 48. But that is a legal kick.
Fun.
And finished off nicely.
Fun to see that in week 1, isn't it?
It's the season opener, and all bets are off. I mean,
bet.
Coach, you have any gadget plays? Well, that just happened to work. I mean, I don't know how many times we actually worked on it, but it came off perfect here. Blue skies in the
Next
background.
week, the Grand Prairie Gophers and the Irving Tigers. First replay starts Sunday night, 8 p.m. on ICTN. The Grand Prairie Gophers. Grew up watching the Gophers as a as a youngster back in the 60s, back when there was just Grand Prairie and Arlington and Irving. You know, the good old days.
Well, you know, at one time, Nimitz was in that district with Trinity and Grand Prairie. And
Well,
the Arlington schools, it was the old District 7-4A.
Well, I've never seen them overturn it before. Why they're talking to Coach Rogers, unless they're going to change things. If they do change things, maybe our eyes and ears on the sideline can.
Well, the umpire, Chris Barnes, I mean, that ball spotted and will stay at the 48.
Yeah, okay. There's no way I could see them change this. So, with that said, here we go.
1st and 10 at the Falcon 48-yard line. Inside receiver is James Rodriguez. Now he takes off in motion. Jimmy Clark. He rolls to the left. He throws. Wide open, caught. This will be 6. Gerard Velasquez pulls away from the defenders and an easy touchdown for Nimitz. Clark with his 2nd touchdown pass of the night.
Wow, that was easy, wasn't it? Basically what had happened there is that, you know, they've been running those quick screens. They did it, but this time Velasquez just took off and just ran a streak. He just took off down the sideline. The secondary bit, and he's to the house.
It's like practice. It's 12-7. And this time Mata will try to get that first extra point of the year. Out of the hold of Sandberry, and there's the flag dropped by the referee. Jarvis Walker motion against Nimitz, so each team has been flagged for procedure on an extra point.
48 yards, 9 seconds, and just like that, the Vikings are on top. Yes, that right side of the line just then moved before the snap. Well, not now, but I wonder if they thought about going for 2.
The blocker on the outside is Delonte Scott.
It was the player to his left that moved last time.
So here's a 25-yard extra point attempt from Mata. It is up. It has the distance, and it inside the left upright. Knocks it home to make it a 13-7 Nimitz lead.
Watch the replay again. You see Velasquez going in motion to his left, or the Rodriguez, but see how everybody pulled up? They just knew it was going to be another quick screen to the outside. And, man, when Velasquez took off, watch, everybody goes to the right. All the linebackers made a move in, and really there was no one back there to cover him. I'm looking at the DB that time, Braxton Washington, the safety. He really had to cover 2 guys. It had to be a breakdown defensively anytime you have someone that wide open.
And all Washington could see was the number 3, and it was getting smaller and smaller. Disappeared. 13-7 Nimitz on top, 49.4 left in the opening quarter.
All this in the first quarter. All of this, mind you.
20 points.
Onside kick, a blocked extra point.
And 2 long extra points. Javier Mata will kick. Nimitz received the opening kickoff, so they'll have to kick off to begin the second half. Back deep, number 19, Paris Colvin. And number 25, Reese Saunders, with Mata only a 3-step attempt. Now backs a little further away. See how deep he kicks this one.
Let's see if this will be the pooch kick.
It's a little deeper, and it's caught by a wide receiver at the 30-35 and thrown down at the 38-yard line is Eric Mills. Mills, a sophomore wideout.
I wonder if that's what the kicker was supposed to do the last time.
Kick a little deeper?
Yeah, and he just whiffed on it, and it happened to fall into the hands of the Vikings.
He asked the coach that very question after the game.
Yeah, was that Coach Rogers, was that playing?
Anthony Millsap. Connor Pittman started the first series for Keller Timber Creek as Millsap throws it up right side, one-on-one, batted away, and a flag. Number 14 in coverage. That was DeMonte Brewer. But did Brewer push off?
Well, I think he got turned around. We've seen that a couple of times for the corners for the Vikings tonight, where they get turned around on the play, and we might have an interference, and they'll mark it off 15 yards.
Pass interference.
Yeah.
On the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
And since the play went more than 15 yards, they'll go back to the line of scrimmage to mark it off.
Went right off his noggin there, but he used his hands to try to separate himself from Deshaun Diggs.
That was a big target, 6'3" and 230. So this puts it at the Viking 48-yard line. 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10, Keller Timber Creek at the 48. Millsap, he will keep it inside the 45. The fake to Saunders, number 25. And then right up the middle, running behind Hunter Harris. Over 23 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It'll be 2nd down and about 3 yards needed. See if they get this play off. And they do. On the sweep, and not much at all. Taken down as Saunders, number 25. And that'll be the last play of the opening period.
Yep, that time it was Delonte Scott, the other twin, number 2, that played it well on the outside and contained and got Saunders down.
So that is the end of the first quarter. Our score, Nimitz 13, Keller Timber Creek 7. It'll be the Falcons moving from north to south as we begin quarter number 2. A 5-man defensive front for the Vikings as they come across the line. At 2 or 3 jump across, offsides, and that'll be a first down. They needed 4 on first down. That'll give them 5 and a first down.
Oh, that kind of play will drive coaches crazy. Defensive guys moving, anticipating the snap, same snap count they've heard all night, and then boom, they alternated a little bit, and I'm sure Coach Rogers will make a notation to address that next week.
Millsap over 900 yards and 12 touchdowns last year. They trail 13-7. They scrimmage from the Viking 37. Millsap looking over the middle. Throws a deep ball, left side. It is up, contact, and another flag on Nimitz. This is on Velasquez. Got tied up with the receiver at about the 4-yard line. Both of them have a right to the football, but here's Jarvis Walker.
Pass interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
15-yard penalty. The DBs are just getting turned around. See, they go past them, and if you're not, he's like face guarding is what they used to call it in the old days. If he would just turn around with his back to the receiver and play the ball, not the player, it might not be quite as bad. But 2 15-yard penalties against the Vikings on pass interference calls.
And again, they go back to the line of scrimmage, mark off 15 yards. You'll never be wrong if you play the ball. From the 22-yard line. Millsap will give it to number 25, and a yard at the most for Reese Saunders.
Once again, this time Delonte Scott. Watch him to the right of your screen, just cut right through and play the runner. Nice tackle, wrapped him up, Threw him down.
And just to make sure, Noah Spears over the top, number 9. Spears at 6'2" and at even 200. 2nd and long. Deshaun Diggs, one of the 2 receivers wide left.
Watch that matchup, too, at the top of your screen.
Diggs had a productive season last year. 2nd and 11. Here comes the blitz. Middle screen caught by Saunders. 15. Saunders to the 10. A gain of about 12. A little soft in the middle. And Millsap and Saunders able to take advantage of it.
That middle screen has been the ticket tonight for them offensively. Pull out the big uns and open up some space and give Saunders room to run. They've done it twice. He's gotten 35 yards the first time and 12 the second time.
Ball right on the 10-yard line. It's 1st and goal, trailing 13-7. Millsap will keep to the 5 and stood up and reaching across the double stripe and taking it in for the touchdown. Number 4, Anthony Millsap. Traverses the 10 yards, and the Falcons back on top. Well, he was not going to be denied.
You know, Coach Rogers may be asking for a holding call right out there in broad daylight, if you will, right to the right corner. It appeared that maybe one of his linebackers was held but didn't get it. Nonetheless, we're tied waiting for the extra point.
Things did get kind of clogged up. Benji Martinez on the PAT. It is spotted, and this one rifled through. And a 14-13 Keller Timber Creek edge right here, just underway in the second quarter. Well, the kind of a drive that they needed.
They needed to answer. Watch Millsap again. Just fakes it to Saunders, takes it out of his belly. Right about there. See him grab Delonte's jersey. I'm sure that's what the coach was looking for, but a great effort by Millsap. Again, ground level. Watch toward the end of the play. Right there, holding the Scott, one of the Scott boys, and Millsap gets it across the goal line. Extra point was good, and it's 14-13. That drive, 7 plays. Didn't take long. That long pass interference call really set the stage for the touchdown. It's about a 2-minute drive.
Yeah, right at it.
And a 62-yard drive.
So now the Vikings trailing by a point. Their streak of season opening wins started in 2010. That was a 38-20 win over North Crowley. And again last year, the 36-6 win over North Garland. You'll enjoy the Nimitz Viking Band at halftime. Nice crowd on hand for this season opener.
One of the students working the sideline cameras to get some of the big screen pictures that the fans, when they come out to the stadium, an opportunity to watch replays.
Well, what they're wondering is where the summer went.
Yeah.
Where did the summer go? You mean the first week of school has already been complete?
One and done, man. Rock and roll. These two teams, you really don't think of a high-scoring spread offense, but here we are with 27 points, and we still have most of the second quarter left to go.
The same duo back deep, Henry and Eugene. Gathered in by Henry. Comes to the near side, 15-20. Has an avenue and is headbutted down hard at the 25. Boy, he came flying in. Number 40, that's Hunter Powell. Powell was the defensive newcomer of the year last year.
Jordan can motor. He's got some speed, and it's like you said, they had an avenue. They had a little gap there here on the near sideline, but it closed in a hurry.
Hunter Powell, number 40, didn't start tonight in the first series. On the kick team there. And waiting for Jimmy Clark, and there he is. He'll empty the backfield on 1st and 10. They officially spotted at the 24. And now we see Eugene in the backfield. They swing it out right side, caught, evading one, getting yardage across the 30 to the 35 and a gain of 12 yards.
Norris with a nice job.
Cody Norris, the sophomore.
Watch it again. It's what they do so well, that wide receiver screen, and he makes the most of it.
At the 36-yard line, 1st and 10, number 11 going to come out, James Rodriguez. And Gerard Velasquez, not sure where he's going to go here. Play clock down to 9. 14-13, Nimitz trailing. Play clock down to 3. And Clark takes the low snap, fires it out in the right flat, and caught at the 39-yard line.
Good job by Barry on the far sideline.
Sam Barry guarded by the cornerback, Paris Colvin.
His first catch as a Nimitz Viking, and had to go wide to the sideline to pick it up, but does a good job.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 as Velasquez comes out. Jimmy Clark to this side. Another catch for Norris. Crosses midfield into the secondary. The chase is on. And Norris hauled down from behind by number 5, Camden Ross. And Norris will be slow to get up.
45-yard pickup. Watch it again. And maybe some poor tackling. Good move on his part. They tried to grab him high, and you know the coaches will tell you, do not tackle high. And Norris, he's got 89 yards on 4 catches tonight. Bad tackle right there. And he's like, ooh, I see pay dirt, until D1 player from behind grabs him, gets him out of bounds.
Just flattens him, and Norris is still down. The training staff out for Nimitz. I like what they do, though, Rod. They go left, they go right. They are mixing up on the pass plays for a season-opening game about as well as you could be expected.
You know, that is pretty much what they have to work with. If you think about it, they've tried to run the football. They've tried to have Eugene or Henry, and both of those players are, just barely even as far as yardage is concerned. And that one good run by Clark when he was flush from the pocket, so they've got to pretty much put yardage and move the sticks by throwing the football like that. And it's almost like a cat and mouse game. If you keep throwing short, if those defensive backs come in, then you've got the gap and you've got some space maybe to go deep.
All the attention on the area now. Cody Norris, number 7. District opener for Nimitz will be their homecoming game on the 25th of September. They'll play R.L. Turner. Falcons next play Burleson. Their district opener will be on the 26th of September at Trophy Club Byron Nelson. Team they lost to last year to open the season. Well, up in the sitting position is Norris.
Burleson with a unique mascot, the Elks. Don't see a lot of Elks across the state. Hopefully he's okay. Maybe he landed on his shoulder wrong, but you hate to see him hold their shoulder that way or their arm that way. That usually means they hurt their shoulder or their collarbone. We're not a doctor. We're not going to speculate.
But a huge gain. They spot it at the 15-yard line. 1st and 10, Nimitz. Mark Eugene just to the right of Clark. Now shifts over, and Eugene takes the handoff, and looping from behind, number 44, Joseph Cotton. Cotton getting all of Eugene, number 21.
Kind of like what we talked about during the timeout. They just cannot get the running game going.
Loss of a couple of yards, 2nd and a dozen. Got a couple of receivers. Now they got 3 of them wide right. Michael Scott is to the near side. Scott one-on-one with Andrew Park. He goes Scott's way. It is caught by Scott at the 1-yard line and out of bounds.
Oh, I thought he tippy-toed his way in.
So Clark to Scott. He was isolated all alone to the left side.
Watch again. Here's Scott on the near sideline. Just use that height to your advantage. I don't know. I don't. It didn't look like he went out of bounds, did it?
Oh, that was so close.
That'll look like 6 points, folks.
From just outside the 1. And trying to dive across.
Fumble.
He may have lost it. And he did. Number 33 comes up with a loose football, Dorian Glenn. And Nimitz, with a great chance to regain the lead, turns it over at the 2-yard line.
Boy, that makes that what we thought was a touchdown by Scott really come back to haunt him. Let's see. They put it in the gut. And yeah, oh yeah, he was losing it. He was losing it on the way down. Credit number 27, Ian Masakini with the play defensively. Well done.
He started for Hunter Powell tonight. From the 2-yard line, 1st and 10, the Falcons take over and a running play gains nothing. They try the left side, and nothing at all for Reese Saunders. And a defensive stand here needed by Nimitz. It'll be 2nd and a dime, just under 8 minutes to go in the first half. 14-13, Keller Timber Creek on top.
6 carries for Saunders, 1 yard.
We see Stephen Yarborough, number 51. He's anchored down tight. Running backs lining up 5 yards deep in the end zone. Here's a short safety valve pass caught at the 6 and taking it across the 12-yard line. And maybe a yard more.
Let's see if he stepped up. Yep, he did step out right there at the 1.5.
Right on that line.
Yep. Good job.
1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 17-yard line. This team made the playoffs a couple of years ago. At one point, Timber Creek in the same district with Aledo. Millsap chased and dropped at the 12. Boy, he was flattened. Let's pick a number 3 Vikings right there. Scott underneath and then over the top. The 34, David Glockner.
Let me tell you, being in a district with the Aledos could be just as tough as being in the district they are now. Boy, Aledo, the powerhouse, you know, they were just starting to come on when they were in Stephenville's district, and Stephenville's kind of had some downtime. And now Aledo, of course, the Jonathan Gray really turning it up a notch.
Tim Buchanan now the athletic director. Running play, breaking a tackle, crossing the 20, and out to the 21-yard line. Another gain for Reese Saunders, the junior.
Probably his best run of the night. Nice move, and just ran right over Delonte Scott there and kept the legs moving. Gives his team a first down.
Running behind Sebastian Escalante at 6'2" and 250.
Timeout on the field, and I'm sure this is kind of one of those conditioning moments probably for Coach Rogers and his staff. He has at least 3 players, Michael Scott, Jared Velasquez, and Noah Spears, that play both ways. And there are a couple of others as well. So, and you know, you can't afford to lose people as well. And we talked about Norris earlier that got hurt. They're now looking at him on the training table, and they have his jersey and his shoulder pads off. So I'm sure they're looking at that shoulder area. But back at hand and back on the field, it seems like that Timber Creek is getting that running game going a little bit.
Nimitz next week will have a road game. They'll go to Parker County. They'll play Weatherford. The Kangaroos. Yes. 3rd and short, needing just a couple. And a big opening, but the door slammed at the 23.
I think he got the first, though.
Nice surge, nonetheless. Monte Brewer and a couple of others there. Glockner as well, number 34.
Yeah, they had like the goal line offense in there. Scott with the first miss, but not missing was Noah Spears, big junior.
It is a first down. They spotted at the 23. Millsap, handoff, now a fake, throws it out, and a one-handed grab caught on the run, 35 and a gain of about 15 yards. Brought in one-handed style by Max Patton, number 22, a junior.
Boy, that was a pretty catch, wasn't it? Watch again. Almost a backwards pass, pretty close to it, but Paxton with a great job there, hauling that in, or Patton, excuse me, hauling that in.
And Millsap was close to the line of scrimmage when he let it fly. At the 39, 1st and 10. Knocked down. That's Scott. In the quarterback's face at 6'5", Delonte Scott, spread eagle, and a knockdown.
That's what makes those guys so tough to throw over when they're so tall, as Millsap and Delonte right in his face and get the hands up.
That was the Admiral. That was David Robinson with a
with the dunk.
Rejection.
Yeah.
The drum line making the way. 2nd and 10. Millsap will hand it off, coming right, and thrown down at the 35 is Saunders. Saunders pulled down by Delonte Scott, number 2.
The Viking linebackers have done a good job of penetrating tonight, the offensive line. He barely gets to the line of scrimmage, and then help arrives, and he holds them up just long enough for number 35, Miguel Flores, to finish him off.
Loss of about 3, 3rd and 13 with 5:18 to go in the half. On 3rd down, Millsap pumps once, throws. It is caught crossing midfield to the 46-yard line, and a pickup of well over 13 yards. Max Patton on the receiving end. Well, they needed 13. They got it, plus about 5 more.
Just a head fake. That's what made him bite.
Millsap wants to go deep. Now thinks about it, is in trouble, and Scott from behind levels him at the 45. The double team, the Scots, all over Millsap.
And Michael says, I'm tired, let me out. And he might have hurt his ankle or maybe cramped up. You know, you get that a lot in week 1 and 2. Hobbling over, hopefully he'll be okay.
He'll come out, and Carter Franco, his replacement, number 31. 2nd and 9 from the 45. Into the grinder, breaking a tackle, 40, 35. And chased out of bounds at the 31 is Saunders. And another first down for Keller Timber Creek.
One of the few times that he's been able to break containment. That's one of those off-tackle plays, and he breaks containment, finds the end, and he's finally knocked out of bounds by Brewer.
Joseph Mitchell back in at nose tackle, number 36 for the Vikes. 1st and 10 at the 32. Leading 14-13. Millsap drops back, surveys the secondary, throws deep. It is caught. A turnaround catch number 22, Max Patton. They'll rule him down at the 1.
30-yard toss and catch. Gets behind the defenders. Very quickly they're lining up to the line of scrimmage as you take a look at the replay.
Twin receivers on either side. It's a fumble, and Millsap picks it up and will be thrown down at the 5. A break for Nimitz. That'll scoot them back 4+ yards. It'll be 2nd and goal.
That hurry up might have ended up hurting them. A misexchange, and defensively, the Vikings were there right about the time Millsap was either going to keep it or hand it off to Saunders.
Somebody just jarred him loose of it.
Don't know if that was Spears or not.
2nd and goal from the 5. Millsap takes the snap, the fake, he'll keep it, and untouched. 5 yards into the end zone. Quarterback Anthony Millsap. That is his 3rd touchdown. He's coming from 5 yards out. And it's 2013. Benji Martinez, the junior, trying to make it 21-13. Spotted up and into the night with 3:18 to go in the first half. Our new score, Keller Timber Creek 21, Irving Nimitz 13.
Well, doing it with the legs of Millsap. They can't do it with Saunders, so they go with Millsap instead. Just a fake dive right up the middle. Everybody bites, and that leaves a big gap for Millsap off left tackle. Watch it again from ground level. All the linebackers go straight for it, and he goes into the end zone. That drive, by the way, started on their own 2-yard line. A 98-yard drive in 5 minutes, 10 plays, capped off by a Millsap 5-yard touchdown run. And that momentum that the Vikings had gained by that onside kick early in the ball game, back in the first quarter, is but long gone, and now they've only got 3 minutes and 18 seconds to try to answer before the half. Again, don't forget, coming up at halftime, we'll bring you performances by the Nimitz Viking Marching Band, the Vikas drill team, along with first half highlights. Again, that's all coming up at the half. I believe his night is over, Mr. Norris, who had 3 catches for 89 yards tonight, and with that sling, probably a shoulder or something, and hopefully maybe it's just sprained and a little rest. You know, they're young. They bounce back a lot better than college and pro players do. So.
At least it's not the 9th game of the year. It's the first game, and maybe time to
heal up and come back.
Get that going again. That last run by Millsap, he can thank Colin Block, number 66, who wiped out a couple of Vikings on that block that sprung loose the quarterback. 21-13. Benji Martinez, see if he kicks to Henry or Eugene. And coming up is Henry. It's bounced and picked up at the 14-yard line. Henry cuts it back against the grain. Trying to get to the 20, he does. Henry 25, and a nice run by Henry.
Got a flag thrown back at the 24. And that's usually more times than not. It's a blocking penalty against the special teams.
Henry just trying to pick up some blocks. They got a couple of them, but we'll see if one of them was in the back.
On the receiving team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
If you can't see the number, go ahead and throw the block. If you see the number, try to hold up. But sometimes, Rob, it's so hard when you're mixed up. You got 4 or 5 guys around you, and you know you want to hit somebody, and somebody just turns around the wrong way, and you're the guilty party. That's a tough one.
It's a 10-yard penalty, so that'll move them back to their own 10-yard line.
3:09 left in the first half. James Rodriguez wide right with Sam Berry on 1st and 10. Clark will hand off on the sweep. Henry. If he got to the 10-yard line or not. Shoved him back, and
he lost about 4 on the play.
I'll mark it as a 6, so his progress did not get near the 10-yard line.
One of the few times they've had 2 running backs in to play a little ground ball, but Aguina Naga, number 21, the junior safety, Edgar came up and put the hit on him.
2nd and 14. Nimitz has 2 timeouts to play with. 2:29 to go. Low snap picked up quickly by Clark. Fires, caught, flag dropped. And the receiver dropped at the 10.
It's usually offensive holding from where that was thrown.
James Rodriguez, the receiver.
Chop block.
Now let's see, from where it occurred, I'd put it about the 4-yard line.
Yeah, do you take the play or do you take the yardage?
It would be 2nd. He would need more than 14, right at 14 yards.
Chop block.
It'd be 3rd
Right
down
off.
if they take the play.
Penalties decline, brings up 3rd down.
They spot it at the 12. It'll be 3rd down and 7. So they take the play. Clark empties the backfield. The quarterback keeper, 15, 20, first down yardage out to the 25-yard line.
Quarterback Jimmy Clark keeps on the play.
Clark scampers up the middle.
He makes the tackle, Kyle Mitchell, number 32.
Well, you've got to take advantage of his feet, and that's what they did right there.
The 24,
As
first
Clark,
down limits.
in a design play where everyone just spread out that defensive line.
To deny him the 25 and spot it at the 24. A swing pass caught out on the left flat. Velasquez breaks the tackle, 30 down the sidelines, 40, crosses midfield, and is chased out of bounds right on the 50.
25-yard gain.
Out of bounds by Mugabe Vigoromano.
From ground level.
There's the key blocks. They give him some real estate on the outside, and he can only tightrope so far.
It's a good shot. That's what the secondary has to look at. Clark feels the low snap, loading up, and is dropped at the 46.
Jimmy Clark.
Minute 43 to go. And Nimitz may want to use a timeout right here. And they do. Loss of close to 4 yards.
That play just took too long to develop for Clark. Got to have the quick hitters or that play action to give him a little extra time for those receivers to run their routes if they're going to go more than 10 yards.
How much do you pay attention in the preseason rankings for area teams? I mean, this week's AP Top 10, 6 teams in the North Texas area in the top 10.
You know, in high school, I think it's tougher than even college to predict how these kids will do. You know, a lot of that is reputation and what they've done in the past. You know, traditionally you always say, well, Trinity's going to be good and Southlake's going to be good. And, you know, it's just, I think history-wise, DeSoto, they'll be good again. A lot of people are predicting that this is a down year for Trinity, and what a district they've got, you know, with Coppell and Southlake and Trinity. Man.
That's a backbreaker every week. But the Irving schools with a great chance to perhaps make postseason play this year. 2nd and 14, Clark over the middle, caught. This will be 6. Number 16, wide open, Sam Berry on the post pattern.
There's Mr. Berry with the 54-yard touchdown catch. Only his 2nd catch of the night. Good for the touchdown. 6 plays. It took a couple of minutes. Don't forget, this drive started on their own 10-yard line.
90 yards, senior to junior. Jimmy Clark to Sam Berry. It is 21-19.
Boy, that was a pretty pass.
Javier Mata trying to make it a 1-point game out of the hold of the man who caught the touchdown pass. Climbing, it is good. Over the crossbar. And a 21-20 contest.
Thing is, do they score too quick? Maybe left too much time on the clock. Look, it gives Clark the opportunity, man, to just step in that pocket and then step up in it. And he just throws a strike to Berry. Look at that, just plenty of time. It all starts with time. It all starts with the guys up front. Give you time, let Berry run his route. And Coach Rogers was right. He thought Berry had a good spring and a good fall and said, I'm really excited about this guy. He's somebody to look at, and he makes the big play there. But there's still a minute 34 left to go before intermission.
Now Clark's third touchdown toss of the night. He has thrown for 3. Millsap has run for 3.
41 points in one half.
That's the way to start the season.
Like I said, it's not even spread offenses, you know? So, yes, indeed.
Who has the ball last, May?
Very well.
In this game, as the Viking student body and the cheerleaders with something to get excited about, 21-20.
Don't forget, you can catch all the games this year and on the City of Irving's YouTube channel. Go to the city's YouTube channel to view the games from 2014 as well as the 2013 season. We all know how to go to YouTube. We all know how to search, right? Right. City of Irving and ICTN.
Colvin and Saunders back deep, awaiting Mata's kick. 2 timeouts left for the Falcons. Here's another short one. It is up, and 2 in the same area. They bobble it. It's loose. And the Falcons able to cover it up. Had 2 guys right next to each other.
Yeah, Cotton, number 44. Boy, that was
you take it, I don't want it.
One of the most timid fair catches I've seen. He was like, I've got to do this. And let's watch it again. Watch Cotton, number 44, right there, middle of the screen. Okay. He used both hands for the fair catch.
But your over-the-shoulder catch is more difficult to the man coming to the ball.
He says, look, I'm not letting anybody. Coach made a point, fair catch.
You scored a hit or an error.
Yeah. Coach,
1st and 10 from the 40.
By the way, Coach Golden, I think, probably had a talk with the officials. He just did. He might have been saying, look, if he called for the fair catch, he can't get hit, right?
Well, that changed.
Yep.
Lost it.
Right.
Yeah. From the 40. 1st down for Anthony Millsap. Wants to throw. Has time. Runs. Throws. It is caught inside the 15 and back, and number 22 in the action again, Max Patton. 60 yards. Millsap had the time, ran back to the line of scrimmage, and that gave Patton enough time to get away from the defender.
Well, I said they left too much time on the clock.
Man, I don't expect a 60-yarder, though.
Well, the DBs have had trouble kind of keeping their eyes on the receivers. They've found themselves having to chase the wide receivers more times than not.
27-20. Martinez and his extra point is perfect. And another lead change.
Here he is. He has a lot of time, and we talked about that last time, about how Clark had time to get up and throw. And this time, Millsap was the benefactor of having guys stay back. Saunders, he kept Scott off his quarterback just long enough for Patton to streak past the DB. And all that Jonathan Horta could do is just give chase into the end zone.
Boy, he who hesitates will end up the chaser. 28-20. 3 touchdown runs, and now Millsap with his first TD pass of the year. 1:21 left in the half. Touchdown coming 13 seconds following Nimitz's score. We've seen some aerial bombs so far in the first half. There's the Timber Creek Falcon cheerleading crew. They brought a lot of people with them tonight.
Yeah, good crowd from Keller. I believe their official address at the high school is actually in Fort Worth. You know how those things work in school districts. You go by county, not by city. But
right.
There's the crowd.
They used to go through Keller to go to North Texas. Took some classes, had to go through Keller. Back then, you could make it pretty easily. Not many stops.
Boy, that's changed.
Benji Martinez. And a short step. It's up. It is caught at the 22. Crossing the 30, 35. And out to the 39-yard line, number 28. On the return, Michael Perez, one of the up men.
Josh Martinez.
So they'll spot it at the 39.
Spotted at the 39-yard line.
The 7th possession of the half for the Vikings. And 1:16 to work with.
That's plenty of time. Well, we'll see what kind of adjustments both of these coaches make during the intermission.
Going to flex Scott Michael to the left. He's among the 3. Velasquez and Rodriguez also looking left, throwing. Rodriguez makes the catch, dislodged. It's loose. It is still loose, and here's the pileup at midfield. It was a catch, a run, and then a fumble, and the Falcons have it. It was a first down for a while for Rodriguez, and boom, there it goes sideways.
Man, what a hit by Edgar Guanaga.
Well, this is a short field for Keller at the 50-yard line.
He really put helmet to helmet on that.
Minute 6 to go. That's the second fumble tonight for the Vikings, and now a full timeout with 1:06 to go.
Well, if I'm Coach Rogers and company, I'm telling my DBs, do not let them get behind you. No matter what happens, stay back. Keep them out of the end zone.
Yeah, be that deep center fielder playing 15 yards off the line of scrimmage if you have to. They've got 66 seconds. And you've seen how both teams can go for the quick strike.
Doesn't take long. Again, the Viking band, the Vikas, the drill team will be performing as well. We'll have some highlights for you. First half statistics. 2 weeks. The MacArthur Cardinals coming to town here against the Richland Rebels.
Rebs and the Cards, 2 longtime schools that have seen a lot of football. From midfield, Millsap looking. He will keep it. He's got 5 and mark it off at 9. Millsap with a quick 9-yard pickup. Again, the first meeting ever between these two schools. And now that may be the final timeout taken by Keller Timber Creek. 55.6 remaining. Their first season of football in 2010, they went 3-7. 3-7 the first 2 years. 2-8 last year. But not the easiest of districts to compete with last year.
Yeah, to get your feet wet, right?
Yeah, battle to just to northwest and South Lakes, Fossil Ridge with a strong program from year one on.
Coach Golden said they had a great spring, and all the kids, since they were so young last year, 50% of his players were sophomores last year, so trial by fire.
Yeah, more juniors than seniors this season. 2nd and a yard. Millsap thrown wide open, 30, 25, and out of bounds and a first down. Number 25, Reese Saunders. To the 25-yard line with 49 seconds left in the half. Stephen Yarbrough going to come on defensively.
Scoreboard clock saying the Falcons have one more timeout left, and that the Vikings are all out of the timeouts.
Nick Castlemane, the tight end, is wide left. In motion goes Saunders. Millsap looking to the end zone. It is caught and dropped. He had it, number 83, Eric Mills, came down and then lost it.
So watch this. I don't know if we can pick this up or not, but it almost looked like that Mills did a little push off. Well, he was moving the arms there a little bit. Falling on his ankle there, I believe, was the defensive back Perez.
Got to make that catch. 2nd and 10. Millsap has all kinds of time. Throws, a flag dropped, and there's another deep ball to the end zone. This one is caught by Mills. He takes it in, but a flag drop back near the quarterback in a hole. This negates the touchdown.
2nd down.
Watch at the bottom. Be right there. See number 75 is using both hands on the linebacker, Jared Kennedy, or the defensive lineman.
He was pushing and moving.
That is only the 2nd penalty tonight against the Falcons. Got to be happy with that being your first game.
Matthew Perez on defensively, 2nd and 20. Line of scrimmage to 35. 2nd and long. Millsap to the near side, caught, and off the double team, Mills. He goes down. It's a gain of 5. Well, they'll give him 6. They'll need 14. And that is the final timeout. So the scoreboard was right. All zeros concerning the timeouts for Keller Timber Creek. They lead 28-20.
That, I don't know if you have that on replay. That was a dangerous pass. The Vikings defensively had that covered really well, and in fact, the defensive back got a great jump on the ball and even had the coaches on the sidelines jumping up because they thought it was going to be a pick six or at least a pick when that play unfolded. Watch to the left of your screen. That's a tough pass to make, and a good play defensively by Brewer. Made a good tackle, but boy, he got a great jump on that ball.
3rd and 14 as we pick it back up at the Nimitz 29. Millsap with a long count. Here comes the rush by Scott, and he just slips down at the 34. Tried to plant the foot, and Millsap lost the footing.
That's where the high school rule comes in handy, isn't it? Once the knee touches.
Very much so. 4th down. And needing 20. Here's a deep ball, one-on-one. It is up, contact and more contact, and here comes the Laundry. Well, that has killed Nimitz tonight near the goal line, going for Deshaun Diggs. He had pushing, he had some arm blocking, he had some holding on both parties right near the goal line.
It's almost to where he can just throw it up. And here comes the band. They don't they don't understand that we've got one more play.
Can't end on a penalty against the defense, and it
15
is
yards
against Nimitz.
From the previous spot.
Try to kick a
One
field goal, I think
untimed down.
Again, turn around, turn around.
That's you play the ball, not the man.
Oh, goodness gracious. So they're going to try about a 38, 36.
Yeah, 36-yard effort, angled to the left for Benji Martinez from 36 yards out. No time left in the half. It is up. It is good inside the right upright, and the first half ends on a 36-yard Benji Martinez field goal. 31-20, the lead at 11. And both teams look gassed here. First 24 minutes.
51 points in one half. It can only go higher, right?
All right, that is the end of half number 1 to begin the 2014 season. Our score, Keller Timber Creek 31, Irving Nimitz 20. We're back with our halftime activities right after this.
Stay with us on the ICTN Game of the Week.
(31-20). Nimitz trailing the visiting Timber Creek Falcons as we get set to play half number 2. John Nelson back with Rob Willman here at Irving Public School Stadium, the season opening game of 2014. 2 new districts for both squads. Keller out of District 5 6A, and Nimitz now housed in 9 6A. Nimitz will kick off to the Falcons to begin the second half. And a lot of work to do on the defensive side of the ball. Both secondaries just ragged and gassed after the first 24 minutes.
We'll see how conditioning comes into play once that fourth quarter comes around. But if I'm the Vikings, besides the turnovers and besides all those penalties, a lot of those penalties, though, about what I'm about to say is, and that's just the secondary, they've just got to contain better and not let those receivers get past them.
Paris Colvin and Reese Saunders awaiting the second half kickoff of Javier Mata. As the Falcons will go left to right to begin the second half. This one angles and trying to compress the coverage and is caught out of bounds at the 40-yard line. That was number 22, Max Patton. Made the catch right on the sidelines. They spot it at the 39, and that's where we begin the second half for the Falcons.
Well, he put a lot of spin on that kick. This time in trying to get his guys to run underneath it, he was trying to get a bounce in their favor, I guess, when it hit the turf.
Kind of a sidewinder. 1st and 10 for Anthony Millsap and the Falcon offense, leading by 11. 2 receivers on the short side. As Millsap, play action, looking over the middle, guns it, caught on the run. This is Josh Diggs, and a flag drop back near the quarterback. Diggs carries it inside the 35. You had Millsap tied up with Michael Scott, and that's where the flag was dropped.
It's going to be a late hit on Michael, I believe.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense. 15 yards added to the end of the run, first down.
And so says Jarvis Walker. And a huge gain plus penalty yardage. And here's another look at it. Scott will come in late.
And nice play after the catch. Can't say enough about how much time that Millsap is getting to throw the football.
Well, they gained 42 yards on the first play, plus the penalty. It's spotted at the 19-yard line. Not the way to begin the second half. Already down by 11. The keeper. And Millsap stood up, and the door slams tight at the line of scrimmage. Michael Scott and 2 others right there for the Viking D.
Timber Creek, their goal coming in was to run half the time and pass half the time. And, you know, they put the ball up 14 times just in the first half and completed 10 of those.
Millsap will send Josh Martinez wide right. 2nd and 10 at the 19. Here come the Vikings. They send the house. The ball is thrown, knocked loose, and a flag dropped at the 11-yard line. Trying to get it to Saunders, and some interference in the Vikings secondary.
Look close. Man, you know.
It was bam, bam. I mean, it was right there.
Yeah, it appeared that the defensive back hit him about the time he caught the football. Don't know what the flag or the discussion is about, but Coach Rogers, about 10 yards out on the field,
I never have a problem keeping it up.
asking the same thing. But this time, I mean, they have had their fair share of mistakes in the secondary, but that time it appeared, at least from this angle, during the fast speed, that it was not interference.
On the defense. The penalty will be
not
enforced
gonna
at spot
discuss
the
it
foul.
and
First down.
Wave no foul. It is a penalty.
Watch it again. Well, the ball was underthrown.
David Glockner came over the top. He cannot stop. I mean, you can't stop in midair, and he just carries through. And
Coach Rogers wants to talk to the official about that.
they're saying that the receiver did not have a chance to catch it. It was thrown in that direction, and Glockner came inside and gummed up the works. So the penalty flag dropped and the ball placed near the 11-yard line. Would they have 70-plus yards in the first half?
In penalties, indeed. And about 60 of those were pass interference calls, it seemed like. Players on. Let's see if he has a case or not. Watch again, Glockner. I mean, he hits him about the same time the ball gets there. I don't know how the receiver, the ball was underthrown.
Glockner, if anything, was looking back towards the ball.
Yeah. And we've talked about how all the others have not, and that time he was.
It's 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Here's a handoff over right guard. And stacked up at the 9 is the running back, as they are slow to get up here. It's offensive guard Devin Gillian. It's a gain of a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down as they place it at the 9.
It's like Washington had a chance to touch the ball, only the 2nd time tonight.
Not many carries. 2nd and 7 at the 9. The deep back is Saunders. Taking the direct snap from center is Millsap. He drops back. He will go down in a pile at the 12. Nice pursuit, not giving up anything. Delonte Scott.
Well, he got his hands up. And, man, you don't see a lot of that anymore where they put their hands up to try to block the play. And he's so tall, he got in there, and then long enough for brother Michael to come in and finish things off. So a big 3rd down play here in the early go of the 3rd quarter.
This is almost where they started. 3rd down and 9 yards needed. The line of scrimmage at the 11. 2 tight ends. And here comes the blitz. Millsap turns, is spun around, and will go down at the 13. David Glockner. And number 36, Joseph Mitchell there.
Well done by the Viking defense. Played contained, swarmed, kept an eye on the quarterback because he's done this for most of the ball game on a 3rd and long or an important play. He's always taken it out of the belly of Saunders.
We saw the hard charge by Glockner, number 34, trying to squeeze between the guard and the tackle. And a 30-yard field goal attempt by number 2, Benji Martinez. Here's the rush. It's a low liner and no chance. And the Vikings have stopped them. Despite the penalty, the 2 penalties, they take over. And a missed field goal to begin the 2nd half for the Falcons.
That's big. That's big for the Vikings. He he just had a bad hold, and the ball was not where the kicker wanted it. Did not get underneath it properly because of the hold, and, you know, that's what will happen. You don't hear a lot about the holders, only when something messes up, and that was the case there. Boy, they took a lot of time off the clock.
First series for the Vikings in the second half. They ate up almost 4 minutes. 1st and 10 from the 20. Jimmy Clark from the spread. He'll hand it off into the center to the 25, and a nice gain of 5+ yards.
Well done by Eugene.
Mark, a sophomore, 1 of 7. Jordan Henry will be back. He's a junior. 2nd down and 4 yards needed.
They need plays like that. They've got to keep the interior line honest.
Trailing 31-20. They led at one point 13-7. Here's Clark. Same play. And stacked up at the 27-yard line. I'll need a couple of yards here on 3rd down. Eugene with another carry. Here comes Gerard Velasquez in as a receiver. He and Sam Berry wide right.
Remember, it was Berry that had the big 58-yard score in the first half.
Ball at the near hash marks. Eugene now stops, takes a handoff, and has the first down. He cuts it back and has yardage to the 34. 3 straight carries for Mark Eugene as they pile up yardage on the ground.
Well, important for the Vikings to do this offensively. Of course, you got to move the ball, but keep that clock rolling. Keep the ball out of the hands of Timber Creek.
From the 34 and a fresh set of downs. Clark takes the low snap, throws it up. It is intended for Michael Scott, who got turned around, and losing a helmet is Camden Ross for the Falcons, number 5, and now in a jawing match with Michael Scott.
Couple of D1 players right there.
Headgear came loose on both sides. That's a catch and release.
Well, that's
so a bone-crushing stop. Couple of helmets dislodged. It's 2nd and 10.
The helmets come off, you've got to go on the sideline.
That is the rule. Clark from the spread, another low snap. He rolls out. Here's the pursuit. Wide open, and reaching back for it, unable to hold on, is Eugene. He was open in the left flat.
I was wondering when we'd see that play. Boy, we saw it quite often last year from the Irving schools. Irving High ran it quite a bit. Nimitz likes to run it just as well, and just missing the mark is Eugene coming out of the backfield. You know, they had Ross out of there at strong safety, and that was a great time to make the call. Ross now back in after sitting out that one play.
Pressure up the middle by number 55, Trevor Goree. It'll be 3rd down and a dime at the 34. In motion, number 11, Rodriguez. Here's a pass play, and wide open and overthrown Velasquez. Velasquez was wide open. He had pulled away from number 19, Paris Colvin, and the pass just a little bit too strong.
2 in a row for Clark, and Clark's going to look back at this series and just say, oh, if I'd have just, he had the time, nobody was on him. He just overthrew his man. He could have had a little bit more air in it.
And
look at the coaches.
Yeah, no one feels worse than head coach Brian Rogers and the quarterback Jimmy Clark. Right play, the right call, and just a little bit too much mustard. In punt formation. And here's the rush. The punter goes down, no flag. He was pushed down. That was James Rodriguez. Wants a flag, didn't get it. The ball went out of bounds at about the 40-yard line.
Well, I was going to say, did somebody push into him? No. Well, I guess his own man ran into him or blocked into him that particular angle.
Joe Pena was in the area. So Nimitz punts it away, and Timber Creek takes over at their own 40. They lead 31-20. Anthony Millsap, senior quarterback. He'll turn, he'll hand it off, breaking one tackle and squeezing out a couple of yards. Number 25, Reese Saunders.
Caleb Collins in at quarterback now.
Oh, that's, who is that?
Number
Collins?
10, yep.
Caleb's a junior. Let's see, who else is new? The offensive line still intact. So all three quarterbacks have seen action tonight for the Falcons. Caleb Collins. Second and 8. Collins rolls out, loading up, a jump pass, caught at midfield. First down yardage, 40 to the 38. Number 87, Nick Castlemaine, the tight end, the senior. That's his first catch of the game.
It is. Yeah, Roger the Dodger used to do that, the little jump pass. I think the art of the jump pass is being lost.
From the 39, he flings it out and intended for Castlemaine. Yeah, you'll see it, Rob, occasionally. I mean, I don't know if it's more of a desperation thing or something you just feel more comfortable in doing given what's seen on the other side of the line, but I don't see much of it.
Maybe the quarterbacks are just getting so tall they don't have to jump.
Or they know when they come down, they'll be wiped out.
Yeah, maybe Manziel might have to jump a little bit, considering his stature against those big guys in the NFL.
Trip over his wallet. Second and 10 from the 39, having to scramble is Collins. And he throws, and the nearest man to it was Saunders, number 25.
Well, both Michael and Delonte provided the pressure on that last play. Watch, he fakes there to Saunders, and Delonte's the first one to pressure. The goal here is to contain. Don't let him get on the outside. And he really didn't have any opportunity to plant his feet and hit Saunders coming out of the backfield.
Michael Scott influenced that as soon as the ball was snapped. Third and 10. From the 39 on third down. Collins trying to pull him offside. Throws, caught. Number 80 breaks a tackle. 25-20. This is Diggs. And Diggs tossed out of bounds at about the 16.
He is a big player to bring down, isn't he?
Has good hands in the secondary, is just a beast, as you say, to try to wrestle down. They have some more yardage tacked on.
After the play, we have a dead ball, late hit on the defense. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
It is a late hit. It's half the distance. He's out of bounds here. You got to give up. You can't continue. It's a blow to the head. Half the distance. That places the ball at the 7-yard line. It's first and goal. And a green light special here for the Falcons on top, 31-20. That puts them near 100 yards in penalties. Collins rolls out, is bumped back by his own teammate. Number 70 is right there, Robert Ray.
Brandon Ross, a sophomore for the Vikings, getting some playing time. Comes in to help clean things up there. Don't forget, this is their third string quarterback out there, Caleb Collins.
No gain. Second and goal from the 7. They'll take the snap from Escalante, number 72. Two tight ends. Collins scrambles.
Whistle.
And
legal procedure.
Stops play. They moved a little early.
Before the snap, ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
It's only the
Steal.
third penalty
Second down
for Timber Creek in the ball game. Not bad for first game of the season.
Only 3 flags? I thought they had at least 6 or 7.
That's been all the Vikings, unfortunately.
Yeah, let's see, the half the distance penalty. The ball placed now at the 12.
10 penalties thrown against the Vikings tonight.
It's 2nd and goal from the 12. Got the big man out wide right, Deshaun Diggs.
Timeout, Timber Creek.
Coach is running about 8 or 9 yards on the field to make sure that they get that timeout.
We talked about the new districts and everything, and Keller is so close to where they play their district games and also their road games. 6 games, of course, at Keller ISD, and then Timber Creek will travel a total of 95 miles for the 10 regular season games. Talk about saving money on gas. Tyler Lee, meanwhile, they will surpass that total with 1 trip on the road to Garland for a district matchup. So Tyler Lee, the Raiders, they have a big gas bill, but people say, well, hey, they're from East Texas. That's where the gas is from, right?
Price is no different there than
it is here, right?
Same pumps. As we swing back to action on 2nd and goal, 31-20. Timber Creek on top. On 3rd down, Collins looking to the end zone, has to vamp, rolls out, evades one, and steps out of bounds at about the line of scrimmage. Or did he get a little bit more? I'm going to say at the line of scrimmage, no gain. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 12. And here is Millsap back in, the senior.
Is he going to call his own number?
Well, he'd have to run it in a little further than he would like.
It wouldn't surprise me.
3rd and goal from the 12.
Watch to the near sideline.
Open field right, sideline left. Millsap on the run, throws it back, and there's the guy wide open, untouched, Reese Saunders. Everybody went to the right. Saunders kind of held up, was wide open at the 5 and takes it inside. So Millsap with his 2nd touchdown pass. It's now 37-20. The PAT by Martinez is true and through with 4:19 to go in the 3rd. The lead at 18 points.
Everyone goes. They fake it to Saunders. He goes to the right like he's going to go near side, then comes right back, a la what Nimitz was trying to do. And there was Reese all by himself again. Well played. He just sneaks right out of the backfield. No one picks him up. He goes in untouched.
That's the old Preston Pearson 3rd down catch from Roger Staubach when they needed the 3rd down, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Out of the left flat, wide open.
Except I think Preston was a lot taller.
Yeah. Being the basketball player in Illinois and a mismatch he could have.
Boy, he did have a couple of good years with Dallas, didn't he? Just being a role player, just coming in on those 3rd down plays, and he was fun to watch.
He was Mr. Clutch. And then there was Mr. Clutch. 38-20. And Vikings now down by 3 touchdowns.
Well, they've got to make the most of every possession right now. They have got to find a way to get that ball in the end zone first and foremost, and then make adjustments after that defensively to try to keep Timber Creek out of the end zone.
Yeah, 2 costly turnovers in the first half and just too many penalties. Henry and Eugene back deep. That's Eugene to the near side. Martinez hangs it up. It is caught at the 18-yard line. 25, 30, breaking a tackle. Only the kicker remains. Gets by the kicker, Martinez. 10, 5, touchdown Nimitz.
Perez.
Michael Perez.
Right up the gut.
No flags.
The good news, you scored. The bad news, the defense has got to go back out. And boy, that didn't take much time to equalize, did it?
Is that about 80 yards?
Pretty close. I'll have to look at the replay again, but
Coast to coast.
he broke that one line of defense, and then it was just his speed. And we all know that speed kills.
He got Martinez. The last line of defense for the Falcons. And the kickoff return for a touchdown. Number 28, junior Michael Perez. It is 38-26. Mata. And this one just sneaks inside the left upright. That angle was getting a little bit smaller, but the extra point is good.
Yep, he took it at about, the 18-yard line, so about an 82-yarder. Right there. Once he got past that line and he makes the move on the kicker, it was all over. A lot bigger than the kicker. He just said, get away. Into the end zone. Boy, that was nice.
They kicked short and they paid for it. And the touchdown coming 14 seconds after the Falcons score.
So it's back where we started the second half, an 11-point deficit with one whole quarter to go. If you're a Viking fan, you're like, come on, defense. We've got to make some stands. We've got to stop their offense. We've got to either send everybody but the kitchen sink and put some pressure on Millsap or whoever else is quarterbacking and try to stop them that way.
Yeah, a couple of stops would be nice.
The Falcons yet to commit a turnover tonight.
Yeah, no TOs. Yep, interception, fumble, or otherwise.
Their only mistake was just not fielding a kick,
Well, this has been a kicker's choice. I mean, both teams, every kind of strategy has been exploited on kickoffs. Javier Mata. See where he goes. Angling one towards the left side. It is caught at the 45-yard line and taken down at that point is Tyler Shaw, Jr. But see, the thing about this, Rob, you give up. I mean,
a lot of yards.
You start at the 45. Why not just line drive it to the goal line and hope your guys can go down and at least pin them inside the 30?
And see what happens.
I mean, you start at the 45, you're going to get points.
You definitely have a short field, don't you? Well, they got Collins back in. No, check that.
That's
Pittman.
Connor Pittman, the junior.
He started the game.
Strong side left. Man in motion is Josh Martinez. He comes to a stop, now back on the trot. He'll keep it. He loses the ball as he crosses midfield and brings it back in. Boy, he held it out there. Connor Pittman.
There was that turnover we were trying to get.
Gain of 6, 2nd and 4. Got Max Patton. Keep an eye on him, number 22. Wide left is Diggs. Patton's kind of an inside receiver. On 2nd and 4. Handoff. And a takedown, number 42, looping around from behind. Jared Kennedy. Nice tackle. Gain of a yard, 3rd and 3.
Kennedy on the stop.
And again, Nimitz with those new helmets this year, the
48, 3rd and 3.
navy blue in. Under 3 minutes to go in the third. They need 3 yards. And again, they'll send Martinez wide right. He's to the near side. Connor Pittman turns. Play clock down to 2. He will keep it, plunges straight ahead, breaks a tackle, and has a first down. He's shoved inside the 40. Gain of about 7 and a first down.
22nd first down by Timber Creek in this ball game. And you know, most of the yards, of course, through the pass, which is ironic because the coach really wanted to run tonight. And look what happens.
That changed.
Yeah, he's got over 280 yards passing right now.
Diggs to the right side on first down from the 39. As Pittman takes a snap, he goes the other way and caught and dropped off the fingertips Martinez.
Well, the Vikings got a little break there.
Sun got in his eyes.
Yep, Martinez. It was about the time he made his cut, and there was the football. Kind of like, oh, surprised me real quick.
It'll be 2nd and 10 with 2:06 to go in the third.
That helps the Vikings. It stops the clock.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing about that. You know, they're not a spread, but teams that like to throw, you don't catch it.
Again, Martinez to the left and Diggs to the right on 2nd down. Pittman looking right, going to Diggs. He makes the catch at the 15-yard line and a first down. Knocked down by Perez. So Deshaun Diggs climbs the ladder and comes down with the ball.
At the 24.
Not too bad coverage.
Had a guy in front of him and a defender behind him. Spotted at the 24. Leading by 11 points. Pittman, Saunders coming right, 20, 15. Breaks a tackle at the 14. Just ran through number 25, Savion Williams, and close to a first down.
Nothing but a base move to the right, and once he breaks that first tackle, pursuit doesn't catch up to him until about 9 yards later.
Lead right at a full yard on 2nd down with 1:27 remaining. The deep back is Saunders. On 2nd down, Pittman will throw to the end zone and a little bit too tall for Diggs. Diggs guarded in the secondary by Oriana. Or not Oriana, it's Brewer. DeMonte Brewer.
Well, Pittman really didn't give his receiver Diggs time to make his cut. He threw, I think, just a little too early.
Going 40 yards on this drive, 3rd and a yard. They've already used one timeout in the period. Now they change, and Patton has to relay the play to his other receiver out to the left. They can't get it off.
I think they called time. Coach got out there and called time right before the clock expired.
Play clock was down to 1, and that is their 2nd timeout.
You know, that really doesn't surprise me considering they're throwing 3 different quarterbacks out there. You know, you got so many different guys trying to lead the offense. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often.
Yeah, it's a chess match. I mean, especially week number 1. You're not going to see this team again. You've never seen them before. It's a guessing game at times.
We were looking at Coach Golden just a few minutes ago from Henderson State.
Arkadelphia, Arkansas.
Hadn't heard that.
Little Rock and Malvern, I think, is a little town up there also.
Haven't heard that name since the Cliff Harris days.
3rd down and a yard needed. Handoff. It's loose. Saunders.
I think Porta came up with it.
Boy, he carried it out.
Number 24 came up with it.
And the safety has it for the Vikings. They have held.
The first turnover of the ball game, and we were looking for that for the Vikings. Porta was just right there waiting on it. And watch Saunders. He never really, look, he's still juggling it. And it comes right out of his hands into Jonathan's hands. And the Falcons turn it over for the first time tonight.
Game gift wrapped in Porta. Right there. So the Vikings take over at their own 10. They get the stop via the turnover. And the offense back out there. Jimmy Clark. Running play and a penalty flag dropped. And a gain of 9 yards by Mark Eugene, but a flag dropped as soon as he got the handoff.
Chop block. We're going to see another one of those.
Holding on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Jarvis Walker with the call. That's the quickest hold you could have on a quick opener. I mean, that was a quick opener. And throw a flag.
There's Jonathan Porta. Right place, right time.
It's a loss. That puts it at the 5-yard line. You're at the shadow of the end zone. 1st and 15 from the 5. Inside of a minute. Clark with receivers all over the place, and they go back to the run. Losing a helmet and yardage to the 12-yard line. Number 21, Eugene. Gets a little bit of that yardage back. They place it at the 13. Needs about 7 on 2nd down. Overlap of about 9 seconds. Game clock, play clock. On 2nd down, Clark, and that intended for Scott. One up high, thrown a little bit behind him, and will bring up 3rd down.
Looking back at the penalties, Nimitz penalized 11 times for 120 yards. That is just crazy.
Yards a quarter. If it holds out. 3rd and 6. Man in motion is Velasquez. Here's Clark. He scrambles. He pumps once. He throws a short pass. It is dropped. Michael Scott needed to make that catch and dropped it. What it does, it stops the clock and brings up 4th down.
Oh, look. Clark did everything he could to keep it in play, and Scott just couldn't get a read on it.
So he can't find the handle, and Nimitz will punt for the 2nd time this quarter. Back deep in return posture, Paris Colvin, number 19. In punt formation, James Rodriguez. End over end. Hits near midfield. Takes a Viking roll. Right at the feet of number 70, Willie Hoya, and that's where it is blown dead with 6 seconds to go in the 3rd. Well, they started from the 45 on their last series. They start at their own 47. Fourth possession in the quarter for Timber Creek. And they'll send Diggs wide right.
Pittman still in at quarterback.
Number 18. He will keep it. Is a little bit short of midfield, and that is the quarter. We head to the 4th quarter. Our score, Keller Timber Creek 38, Irving Nimitz 27. You're watching ICTN's Game of the Week.
right, we're about to start the fourth quarter of play with the Falcons leading the Vikings 38-27. We'll give you our sponsor here momentarily.
2nd down and 8 from the 49. Pittman throws, and a nice grab. Number 11, Josh Martinez. Lost it for a minute, then to regain possession.
Man, how did he see that?
Stayed with it. They spot it at the 46. He needs 3 on 3rd down. Martinez again wide right. 3rd and 3 just underway in the fourth quarter. Connor Pittman, the junior. He will keep it after the fake to Saunders and be close to a 1st down.
Looks like he's got it from this angle.
And he does. Move the sticks.
There's a team with about a little over 260 yards passing, and they've got about 75 rushing. Not quite that 50-50 split the coach was looking for, huh?
Brandon a little bit short. Brandon Ross, number 10 in for the Vikings. It was 31-20 Falcons at halftime. 1st and 10. Pittman on the quarterback draw, takes it upfield. 30, breaks a tackle, 25. They can't bring him down, 15, 10. And Pittman wrestled down inside the 10 by Scott. Running hard, junior Connor Pittman.
It was a 37-yard gain, and you know what I see on that series of plays? I see tired players for Nimitz. Missed tackle there. Missed tackle there.
Yeah, Pena had a shot. Just hold on.
I see some gassed players who have been on the field a long time defensively.
Strong side right, 1st and goal. Saunders takes the handoff, and Saunders chased out of bounds at the 5. Ran out of real estate. Reese Saunders.
12th carry for Saunders for 27 yards. Job well done by Pena, just stretching that out and forcing him out of bounds.
2nd and goal inside the 5. There's Pena in the end zone. Pittman with Saunders in motion, turns, cuts it back, headed to the 1 and dropped at the 1-yard line. Scott from behind, and David Glockner also there. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 1. Stephen Yarbrough, number 51, in as a defensive tackle.
You notice Millsap is checked back in at quarterback.
Anthony Millsap, the senior. Full house backfield. He plunges straight ahead and finds the end zone again tonight. A 1-yard plunge by senior Anthony Millsap. It is now 44-27.
They really line up and play power football when they have him in there. I mean, they're really making some holes between the tackles.
Other than a field goal, he has figured in every scoring tonight for the Falcons. Been involved in every touchdown. They almost got to the ball on the extra point, but Martinez just a little bit quicker. The extra point is good, which makes it 45-27. Much about this, Rob just straight ahead, running behind the O-line, moving bodies the other way, and another touchdown for the Falcons.
It's a lot of muscle down there, and to be quite honest, probably some fresher legs too, compared to those of the Vikings, who in their first game of the season, and a few players, more than one, that have to play both offense and defense, and a couple players injured as well. The Vikings are probably pretty gassed right about now.
Helmets off and not as much bounce to the step as when the game started. Understandably so, given the conditions in the first game, but they've given up some huge yardage and a lot of penalties tonight. The big play, as they say. At the goal line, same duo of Eugene and Henry. And one of them will see it. It's Eugene a yard deep to the 15. Pinned down at the 16.
Joseph Cotton, first one making contact for the special teams.
Wasn't he in some Hitchcock movies? Third possession of the half for Nimitz. They set up shop at the 16 with 10:05 to go.
Because of that kickoff return, talk about only their third possession offensively. Different how that played out in the first half.
Scott to one side and Sam Berry to the other. They show blitz. Here's the flags, and caught on the run, trying to pull away is Berry. 20, 10. If it stands, it's a touchdown of 84 yards.
I think it's offsides against Timber Creek.
And the call
on the defense
is exactly that.
Decline. Touchdown.
And the big play for the Vikings. 84 yards. Jimmy Clark to Sam Berry.
Second big touchdown of the night for Berry. And this time Clark put enough air underneath it to allow his receiver to run under, make the catch. Had two steps on Eric Mills, who is out there playing defensive back. And Berry had the step and the speed.
Oh, that was nice. 45-33. Here's the extra point attempt. It is up. It is good.
And even if you did, there's no guarantee.
Javier Mata dots the I.
Watch it again. A lot of pressure. He took a big hit at the end of that play, but stretching out, making the play is Berry. And Mills cannot catch him. Watch again. Boy, he got hit right as he let go of that, and what a nice play.
Won't see a prettier catch. They hooked up for 54 yards in the first half. That one covers 84. 45-34. The 79th point of the night.
Will we get 100?
Man,
Who would think the over-under was going to be 70 points?
no one tonight.
You know what? It just stays within that 11-point cushion. That's the way it was at the half, and that's where we're at now.
31-20 at the break. One team back on defense, and the other gets the ball again.
Now look how many players.
You sure this isn't 7-on-7 in July here?
Yeah, Class A ball. They've got 10 players now up front. The Falcons do. If you got to do that little pooch kick, if you're going to do it, kick it over 10 yards. Kick it past that second line of defense.
Yeah, there's a dead zone. Now Reese Saunders is at the 20-yard line. Now scoots back to the 15.
Big gap.
25, 30, almost 30-yard space. So Mata, he's going to take the full run at it.
And everybody else is starting to move around. I don't know if the Falcons know what's going on. And we've got a delay of game against Nimitz.
You don't see this often, but
No.
that is it's like coming out late to begin the game out of the locker room, a delay of game. This time you take too long to kick off. You have so many seconds in basketball to take a free throw, or it's a technical foul, and here's a 5-yard penalty.
Well, maybe the new 40-second clock got him. Probably not ready. But he kicked it in the right spot. I mean, that is a great kick.
Had some backspin and covered up at the 25.
That's a great kick, and we've got some play after the whistle. Josh Martinez for Timber Creek, one of the players involved in some pushing and shoving after the play was over.
It was a good kick. It forced Saunders to come up and make a quick recovery.
Let's see that. I did not see a flag thrown. Well, yes, back at the 35. Nimitz being called for offsides. So will Timber Creek make them do
Offsides,
it again, or
kicking team.
we're just going to add it to the end of the play?
Keller has elected to add 5 yards to the end of the run. First down.
Yep, 5 at the end of the run.
They'll keep it, they'll spot it, and then mark off 5 yards. Timber Creek on top, 45-34. They have never won a season opening game. Nimitz is trying to win their 7th season opening. From the 30, 1st and 10, sideline left, open field right. Now the quarterback, Millsap, now a receiver. He's out wide right. And the quarterback is Pittman. Yeah, 18. Okay, Pittman from the shotgun. He will keep it. Runs over right tackle and has a quick 5 yards.
Connor Pittman keeping on the play.
Well, you wonder if that was just a decoy, just to see what the defense would do. And yeah, Millsap is going to take a breather, and Nick Castlemane, senior tight end, Timber Creek has been afforded to throw in a lot of players tonight.
2nd down 5. Deshaun Diggs wide right. On top, 45-34. And another keeper by Pittman, and Pittman inside the 35 will need about 3 more yards for a first down. It'll be 3rd down.
Ironically, Pittman leads the Falcons in rushing with 60 yards on 8 carries. You know, coming in, they thought that Saunders would be the workhorse. He'd be the guy making all the yards, but he's been fairly limited tonight.
Jordan Dye, number 27, in defensively for the Vikes on 3rd down. And Pittman wants to throw. Here's the rush up the middle, completes the middle screen inside the 45 of Nimitz, all the way down to the 42-yard line.
About a 20-yard gain.
And slow to get up, maybe twisting an ankle at the end of the run. The receiver still down.
Yep, Saunders, he's the guy.
Lost his balance, and
boy, he has really done well on those middle screens tonight. See if you can tell if he's got anything twisted or not. Maybe that left leg got caught up underneath him.
At the 42-yard line.
Yeah, that looks like a cramp to me, though. The week 1 cramps.
Well, tried to get up, and still a little bit of tightness. 8:22 to go in the game. Again, Keller at home next week. Nimitz will play at Weatherford. They'll play Trophy Club Byron Nelson next week. So Saunders comes out. Nimitz defense with a little bit of breather, a water break from the 42. That's where we start.
Ball's at the 42, first and 10.
Braxton Washington in at a running back. Washington number 20. And some movement, and Pittman just flings it out to the near sideline.
Neutral zone infraction
13th penalty
on the defense.
against the
5-yard
Vikings.
penalty, still, first down.
It'll cost them 5. It'll be placed at the 36-yard line.
Although it's not a game that we have on the schedule, the same Timber Creek Falcons will come back to Irving Public School Stadium on September 11th to play the Irving Tigers.
Here's Pittman, hands it off. That's Washington. Washington crashes over right guard and close to a first down.
We gave him about 4 on the play. Nimitz trying to shuttle guys in and out defensively, trying to give some of their linebackers some breathing room. By far, the Vikings they're not a tall and big team. Those guys in the middle aren't. They have their hands full.
2nd and a yard. Pittman with a hard count. He will turn, he'll hand it off, and a first down to the 29. Spun down number 20, Braxton Washington, the junior.
That's the 27th first down for the Falcons tonight.
As we approach 7 minutes. David Glockner, you saw Glockner, number 34, over 120 tackles last year, a mainstay at that linebacking spot along with the Scots. From the 29, Pittman throws. It is caught at the 24-yard line, and all the way down to the 20 goes Max Patton. Pittman to Patton.
Say that 5 times fast.
Only one will do. Mark it at the 21. It'll be 2nd and just over a yard needed. And the onus for the Falcons is to keep it on the ground. No reason to put it up. Risk a turnover. You have the lead. The clock is your friend right now at the 21. Well, I say that, and Pittman going to go to the end zone, and he's got a touchdown. Diggs is there with the over-the-shoulder catch. I thought they would keep it down and maybe take some time off via the ground, but no, Diggs got open and hauls in the catch.
Well, just a little pitch and catch, if you will, by Pittman. Nothing fancy, just a couple steps back, and there was Diggs.
(51-34), and the extra point is good by Martinez. And the lead now at 18 points.
Watch Pittman. You know, we've seen him a lot go to the run. This is just, he didn't even take more than a step back. Diggs just took off running, and Brewer couldn't catch up in time, and it was just a simple throw.
I guess, you know, Diggs and the coaching staff felt, you know, I can get by Brewer, just to throw it up high, and I'll run underneath it. And that is a killer with 5:57 to go. A team that won just 2 games last year. They were 2-8. And only 1-6 in the district. And out with the tee is Martinez, and Vikings going to send Ross back deep. He's dropping back deep, but now Eugene back in there. Whether he sees the kick is a different story. 52-34. So the fans beginning to filter out here. Last Friday night in August, Labor Day weekend. It's a line drive. It hits at the 12. It's scooped up at the 5-yard line by Eugene. Eugene looking for an avenue, and that is closed at the 17-yard line. Got clogged up. So Nimitz, their last drive started at the 16. This one begins at the 18. It's not as if they've started in an ideal spot, Rob. They've started from the 20, the 10, the 16, now the 18.
Field position, just one of many different variables if you want to look at ways in which maybe the Vikings can tweak things a little bit during the week of practice.
No, just go around to the other side of the bench. And then
Jimmy Clark.
oil and everything is all your cables.
And the flag dropped by the linesman on the near side. There was motion, and it's going to be a catch for Sam Berry and another touchdown if the Falcons were offsides.
If this counts,
Oh, man.
if this counts, of course, it's an 82-yard touchdown.
I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Neutral zone infraction on the defense. Penalties decline, results of the play, touchdown.
This is what you call a fine example of not giving up on the play.
They've caught him
Right.
twice in the same situation. 52-40. Clark and Berry again hook up.
Berry with 166 yards and 3 touchdowns tonight. Coach Rogers wasn't kidding when I asked him, Coach, do you have a surprise player, someone that I need to watch Friday night? He says, man, we've really been impressed with Berry. Well, he's right.
Over 50 yards a catch. And the extra point is climbing, doesn't have enough. It just got over the crossbar. It took the paint off.
All right, let's watch this again. And you see the offside, some movement. And Clark looks left, goes right, and Berry doesn't give up on it. He just says, thank you. Right over the shoulder, and no one's within the zip code of that.
Now, what a night for the junior. Okay, 93 points and counting.
I told you we might make 100.
52-41. Clark and Berry again.
A lot of time on the clock. Well, here's the question. Will Timber Creek say once and for all, okay, let's run the ball.
Let's just keep it on the ground.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be their MO before.
You never know.
So here comes the kick team and the return team, or do the Vikings go squib kick special? Do they take the blue light special here as the defenders, and they've got 10 of them again. Just 10 yards away from the ball, they stack them up. And the way this is being teed up by Harvey Armand, it's got onside kick written all over it.
I'm going to bounce this bad boy. Let's see if he tries to hit the top of the ball and give it that bounce.
Okay. It goes 6 yards and will not make it. Well, you gotta get it at least 10 yards, and that came up 4 yards short.
Well, for a team that really muffed one of those plays earlier, the Falcons made up for it this time, and no one, tried to be a Leon Lett and try to go up there and touch it. They all said, let's just stand back and let it go.
Ball had glue at the end of the. And of course, there's no penalty. I mean, you got it right there at the 46-yard line. That's an easy call for the officials. 5:37 to play.
I don't even think I can't hit the golf ball. I mean, that's better than what a golf ball I can hit.
I'd save that tape and look at it. I don't know if he could duplicate that again. Okay, let's have some runs here.
One would think, right?
Well, let's see. The backfield alignment. Got the receivers, but are they just window decoration? From the 46, and Pittman going to pull it back and run. And is sideswiped at the 45. A pretty good pop. It's a gain of a yard, 2nd and 9. Well, those that came out tonight got their money's worth as far as big plays and seeing some opening night surprises. From the 45 of Nimitz. Slot back to the near side. As Pittman drops back, rolls. He will throw on the run. It is almost intercepted at the 34-yard line.
How did he catch that?
Man, almost intercepted and a catch, and Diggs
Man.
able to come away with it. Well, they're nearing 30 first downs, aren't they? Here's another look.
Watch, kind of sliding. And he gets hit pretty good.
Paid for it. Got hit on the way down. It's a first down with 4:26 to play. And Nimitz offsides. And head-butted back is the running back Washington. It looked like Nimitz a little early as they crossed the line.
Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty.
Penalty yardage now is
First down.
1 watt.
135.
Wow, that's. Well, they say the biggest improvement a team makes all years from week 1 to week 2. And we'll see.
If you're a Viking fan, you're saying, hey, it's not a district game.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, only the district games count.
Yep. You just, it's a big-time dress rehearsal.
Washington able to fight off one and goes down, was planted at the 29 by Spears.
So you're the Vikings. You've got all 3 of your timeouts left. When do you start using them?
Trailing by
not yet.
11.
Not yet. You got to somehow hold them here on this 3rd down play. It might be out of the guy's field goal range, and then you get the ball back and try to score, and then you start using your timeouts.
But they need to stop here on 3rd. They need 6. And Pittman, and the chase is on. He got rid of it, caught, first down 20, 15 and out of bounds. First down for Max Patton.
Boy, we've seen that a couple of times, haven't we?
That ends that. All the scenarios, everything off the board now.
Yep.
Justin Long in, number 44. Boy, he just got rid of it. The chase by Delonte Scott. But he was wide open. I mean, that was an easy catch. From the 15. And the draw play. And a flag dropped in the backfield by tonight's referee.
Lineman was not set on the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
If you are the Falcons, you're going, man, we only had 1 turnover and we only were called for 4 penalties. For the first game of the year, that's got to be pretty good.
To me, Keller looks in midseason form.
They look pretty good right now, don't they?
From the 20-yard line. It's 1st and 15. Way out to the right is Josh Martinez. And here's Pittman. He will run. runs inside the 15. We're inside of 3 minutes. Nimitz going to start the year 0-1. Their 7-game season opening streak will come to a halt. While trying to win their 7th. On the previous 6. Gain of 2. It is 2nd and 8. Washington near the 5.
This time it is number 20, Braxton Washington.
And with 2:15 to play. And some fresh legs receiving core-wise for the Falcons.
20 seconds on the game clock and 40 seconds on the play clock.
Well, let's see. They're going to have to add some time, I think, here.
Putting
40 seconds.
changing the game clock.
It's 3rd down, and well, now we got 2:19 and clock moving. Quarterback is Millsap, number 4.
He can wait and let this thing go all the way down to about a $1.20 or a $1.40 if he wants to.
2 tight ends, 3 running backs. Play clock down to 10.
Yeah, he can wait all the way to about a second to count this and get it down to about 1:41 if he wanted to.
Milked it pretty good. Tackled in the backfield and a loss of yardage.
Braxton Washington tackled by number 2, Delonte Scott. At the 9-yard line.
So Washington.
Watch Scott come right off the line and make a beeline for Washington.
They spot it at the 14. We think 1:17 left to play. Same lineup in the backfield for Millsap. Got that guard in, number 55, Trevor Goree. Play clock down to
call
1,
time.
and they take a timeout with 1 second left on the play clock and 1 minute on the game clock. So 52-41 the count. And we'll see if it's, well, it's 4th down, so I doubt if you take a knee and turn it over or just string it out and stay in bounds.
Well, the Grand Prairie Gophers, who have the same fight song as the Aggies, but I think the Gophers do it better because they do it faster. So for all my Aggie friends, I'm sorry. Gophers come to town against the Irving Tigers next week on ICTN.
Gary Bartell leading the program at Grand Prairie, a former
Gopher?
well, the former UT Arlington football coach when they dropped the program in '85. He was on the staff. Also spent some time at Lamar and Texas Tech. As we pick it back up on 4th down, Connor Pittman, the quarterback. And Pittman on 4th down keeps it and is denied the 1st down. 53.7 to go. And Nimitz will take over at the 7-yard line. So here comes the Falcon defense. They have won this game tonight. The Nimitz offense back out there. Jimmy Clark has gone the whole way. And
At the 6-yard line.
to give him kudos for hanging in there, all the running and throwing he's done. Lone setback is Jordan Henry. Clark takes a snap, gives to Henry. Henry angles over the right side and no gain at all. And time barring a penalty for one more play. On second down. The Falcons with 340 total yards. And Henry stacked up at the 6, and that should do it as we take it down inside of 11 seconds. 52-41. It'll be your final. Rob Willman will head down and have a visit with head coach Brian Rogers, and that will do it. The clock showing all zeros as Keller Timber Creek, in their first meeting ever with Irving Nimitz, comes away a winner 52-41. A lot of points, a lot of action, and some interesting practices coming up this week for both teams. Line up in single file. 52-41 your final. Keller Timber Creek victorious over Irving Nimitz. We're back with a post-game wrap-up on our ICTN Game of the Week. John Nelson back at Irving Public School Stadium. The Keller Timber Creek Falcons victorious in their season opener 52-41, both teams with 21 points in the second half. It was a night of big plays, and quarterback Jimmy Clark finding a wide open Sam Berry. This was the second of the two long bombs in the second half, this one covering 82 yards as Berry makes the easy over-the-shoulder catch at the 40 and pulls away easily. Over 160 yards in receiving for Irving Nimitz's number 16, Sam Berry. Rob Willman with head coach Brian Rogers now.
All right, John, thank you very much. Well, Coach, I guess first off, the penalties probably really killed you.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's the first ball game of the year, but, you know, that's correctable, and we're going to get that corrected. That's, you know, that's unacceptable to play a football game like that. So we'll get back to work on Monday and work on taking care of those little things to make sure that gets corrected.
What did you see that you liked tonight?
Well, I like the fight. You know, there's a couple times in the second half we had a chance to just, you know, lay down and give up, but we didn't. We kept battling and fighting, and we're going to build on that. We'll be ready to go next week.
Did you feel that your kids ran out of gas toward the end, or is this a typical first game of the year?
It's just the first game of the year. You know, the weather's hot and humid out here, but I think we're in pretty good shape. We'll just take it week by week and go on to next week.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it, Coach Rogers. Now back up to you, John.
All right, Rob. The 52-41 win, and a lot of highlights in the first half and a lot of highlights to show you here in the second half. It was 31-20 at the break, and then Millsap on a 12-yard throwback pass to Reese Saunders. This made it 38-20, 4:19 left in the third. And then Nimitz gets a big 82-yard kickoff return. Michael Perez threads his way downfield, able to evade the kicker, stay inbounds, and takes it all the way. That made it 38-27. And a nice second half comeback by Nimitz. Anthony Millsap plunges straight ahead from a yard out. Made it 45-27 Falcons. Back and forth we go. The first of two long 80-plus yard passes. Jimmy Clark hooks up with Sam Berry. This one from 84 yards out. That made it 45-34. And then Connor Pittman to a wide open number 80, Deshaun Diggs, made it 51-34, the extra point good. And then the final score of the night, Jimmy Clark's second long toss to Sam Berry, 82 yards, but a little bit too little too late. Keller with over 340 yards of passing, 29 first downs, and 146 yards on the ground. Nimitz able to crossed the 300-yard mark passing-wise, though. 351 yards of passing, and a big chunk of that, Jimmy Clark and Sam Berry. 52-41 your final as the 2014 season is underway. As we call it a night here at Irving Public School Stadium, our thanks to our ICT and production crew. Nice job as always. Our thanks to everyone here in the press box. For Rob Willman, once again our final score, Keller Timber Creek 52, Irving Nimitz 41. Till next week, this is John Nelson saying good night for the ICTN Game of the Week.
Irving Game of the Week has been brought to you in part by Gerald Stavely Dry Cleaning,